Hi, I'm Bert Nussbaumer from macrobeat.co.uk. A rather strange week, I have to say, that has seen a bit of everything, risk on, risk off, dollar up, dollar down, so nothing really too convincing. The main event, obviously, has been the Fed meeting on Wednesday. That really did surprise me a little bit. The market did expect really nothing, sort of non-event March type meeting. But what Mr. Powell did in the presser, it really felt like he leaned out of the window with rejecting taper and talked all the taper ideas out of the way. I didn't think the Fed had to be as dovish as they came across this week, which I personally feel would corner them even further should the data continue on the current path. Reality is all the charts are quite clear. Growth is stunning. Inflation, we get indicators from everywhere that are just pointing up. The Fed still think it's transitory, so that's going to be an interesting sort of thing to watch. Next week, we have non-farm payrolls. That's probably the first test for the Fed. Another 900K or higher print next week, and I think the market will be very quickly to maybe put a few question marks on the Fed. The surprise maybe was we looked out for the T word as in taper. We got the F word, which is froth, when he started to talk about the equity market. So all in all, I usually like Mr. Powell a lot. I did personally think it was a very weird meeting at this time around. On the other side, as we said, the first move during the press conference was more reflation trade, dollar down, equities up. But already on Thursday, we didn't really see a follow through on all these kind of themes. And I'm not yet sure if it's just due to month's end or if the market really had a second sort of think about what Mr. Powell said, compare it with the macro data, and just didn't really think it makes a heck of a lot of sense. But it is what it is. For now, that is the Fed story. As long as the data comes in line with that story, all seems to be good. Watch out if it is not. On the chart side, I just have a few charts for you where I just want to go through briefly a few currencies. As I said, it's not a heck of a lot going on out there. But in euro dollar, we do have the sort of push higher. We did break that 2021 downtrend. We quickly overshot it by 40, 50 pips. No follow through as of yet. We're just testing that breakout area again today. If we sort of close below 121, that would obviously be a failure for the move. Close above, definitely still sees the risk of 122.5, even 123.5 during that period where the Fed still is in charge right now. The next slide is dollar CAD. This is a weekly chart. We talked about CAD the last few times. Bank of Canada, the only hawkish central bank out there in the G10 space, or probably even in the broader space, which makes really the CAD the standout currency in G10. I think that trade will continue. 122.5, the first real target was met, meeting the 2018 lows in dollar CAD. Maybe a bit of consolidation here, but the CAD will probably be the standout currency for a few more weeks to come. On the next slide, this is CAD yen. I just showed it again to just show what actually happens when a central bank indeed starts to shift. Very strong move higher in CAD yen, which obviously is a double whammy. We have CAD strength from a hawkish Bank of Canada. We also obviously have the reflation trade, which is sort of risk currency seeking. On the next chart is sterling. Cable obviously had a big run up in 2021 on the back of the vaccination story, and that made all a heck of a lot of sense, the UK being the front runner on vaccination. And now it just feels, given the EU as well as the US has caught up on that sort of vaccination trade, there is sort of less reasons right now for sterling to be the standout. We haven't really turned down yet, as I think there is no obvious reason for it to turn down just yet, but it kind of lacks a new story. There's one US bank that calls Bank of England taper in May. That if that were to happen, that would obviously be a very big story for sterling on the upside. But I just doubt that the Bank of England is at this point to taper. So I think a bit more, less direction for sterling. The big story in sterling is over for the time being. Last but not least, gold. We had another test of that major 1763.5 pivot. Gold obviously didn't like the dollar bid tone, didn't like the rally in US yields. So this is yet again the big crucial area. That's it from me for today. Thanks very much indeed.